Hey everybody, it's Vicky with Dementia with Grace. How are y'all doing today? I hope that y'all are doing great. This is such a hard, heavy, difficult video because it's about driving and it's about taking the keys away. It is about deciding when it's time to take the keys away and then actually doing it and what you can do to soften that process. Although it is a hard process, I'm not going to lie. I think it's important to, shake hands with the truth. I say that all the time. The other thing that I say all the time is be the calmest person in the room. And there is a video on that in here. If I can, I will link it here somewhere. Things have changed since I did some videos. And so anyway, I'm going to have to figure that out. That's my issue. So, okay, anyway, let's get started. First of all, I want to talk about the stages and how driving is different in the stages, okay? What I'm going to do is talk about early, middle, late. So let me just review that the 7 stages, which is the stage process that people use. Some doctors don't use it. General practitioners, your family doctor, they usually are not educated on the stages. Neurologists are obviously educated on the stages, but a lot of neurologists, for some reason, don't like to use the stages. It's difficult, but let me tell you, I have got several videos. In fact, I have a playlist on the stages. And so stage 1, 2, and 3 are the early stages. Stage 4 and 5 are the middle stages. Stage 6 and 7 are the late stages. So it's kind of like early, middle, late, okay? So each of the videos that I have discuss the stages in detail. I have one that discusses all the stages at once. I have some that focus on early, second video middle, third video late. I have what remains in the stages. So you can pretty much, what I have found is people can figure out what stage their person is in based on the videos that I have put together, okay? So we are going to talk about the driving issue in the early, middle, late, okay? I'm going to try to make a, fairly short video, but you cannot cram all of this information in a 6-minute video. So I apologize that it's not going to be one of these in and out kind of videos, but it's enough that it's difficult enough that it deserves a little time, okay? All right, so early stages, 1, 2, and 3. 1 is no noticeable events. I mean, maybe the person with dementia could find that they're losing their keys, they're misremembering somebody's name. They are missing appointments. They might be just the normal stuff that we associate with aging. And they might, even if they went to the doctor, they might probably in 1 or 2 get a diagnosis of mild cognitive impairment, MCI. You will see that on a diagnosis list sometimes. When you are reviewing, a lot of times they have these they have the portal, the medical portal, where you could go in there and actually see the doctor's note, and you might see something that says MCI. Now, MCI, mild cognitive impairment, does not always go into then a dementia, an Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, Lewy body dementia, any of that. And so MCI can just be what we consider normal aging, right? We come out, we don't know where we parked our car, that kind of thing. You see a lot of that then in 2 as well. And then in 3, family members, people that are close to the person can definitely notice decline, okay? So 1 and 2, the person can still drive, no problem. They, even in 3, are working and driving in in known pathways. You know, they can get to the golf course, they can get to church, they can get to, you know, their local favorite restaurant, right? And, you know, maybe the rider, the passenger can, they're like, oh, you're going to, you know, you need to stop. You know, the red light's changing, or you missed that stop sign, or, you know, slow down or speed up or something like that. That would be 1, 2, and 3. Right then, if you notice, or the doctor notices, you know, they would stage them 2 or 3. That is the time for the conversation. If you know, now a lot of people are watching this video in 4 and 5, and we're about to jump into that. But if you already notice that their driving ability is declining, either they're missing they're missing the exit, or they're having trouble, you know, negotiating traffic, that kind of thing, navigating, not, you know, and so you would need to then have the conversation. You know, honey, you know, what we're gonna do is maybe get an occupational therapist in and just have them assess your driving, just to make sure that you're safe, I'm safe, the other people on the road are safe, okay? Then, if you have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's by 3, which can happen, that is when you would say, okay, you have Alzheimer's. We both know that. Or maybe the family has come around. We all know that. And there will come a time when you can't drive. And the deeper you get into the stages, the less you are going to realize that you can't drive. And that gets hard. And we know that it would be hard at that point to take the keys away. You would probably, you know, fight us or get difficult, or, you know, whatever could happen. So now that you're in the early stages, we want to go ahead and take the keys. You know, suspend your driver's license, you know, those kinds of things. Because I believe at this stage, you are able to process the fact that you would be harmful driving, and you would put us, our life savings, in jeopardy, because it's a huge liability to drive when you are no longer able to drive. And if you had a wreck and hurt somebody, or God forbid, kill somebody, they could absolutely sue you and win. If there was a diagnosis on their chart of Alzheimer's, or there was a diagnosis of even MCI, or if there was a a known test, an MMSE, or something like that. If there was a test that the doctor did and it showed decline, the family savings is gone, and your insurance is gone, you know, for even the drivers in your family, for letting you drive. So anyway, I mean, I have seen that happen. It doesn't happen in every situation, but absolutely there's liability there. So while they're early enough, I believe you need to get all of your house in order, your whole financial house in order. You need to, you know, do POAs, power of attorneys. You need to do medical power of attorneys. You need to do powers of attorney. Forgive me. You need to get all of that handled. Your will, your living will, you know, what you want for the end of life. You know, if you want to stay in the home, if you're willing to go into a facility, you know, something like that. And those things need to be talked about in early. Okay. Middle stages. I'm getting some water for the middle stages. Okay. Middle stages. Okay, middle stages are stage 4 and 5. So watch those videos. If you think your person is deep enough. So 4 and 5, just a little recap. 4 and 5. 4 is when they start really getting confused. And they may put, you know, the house keys in the refrigerator. They might put the butter in the freezer and the ice cream in the refrigerator. They are puttering more, which is pacing, and you can watch that video on pacing. Pacing is, just walking back and forth, going to check the mail, going to check the mail, going to check the mail, puttering at their desk, just those kind of things. And please just go ahead and watch that video. It goes into it deeper. 4 is also shadowing, and you will notice that. In 4, that's one of the hallmarks of 4 and 5 is shadowing, and shadowing is following their person around. They follow you into the kitchen. They follow you out to the mail. They follow you to the bathroom. They follow you everywhere you go. If you were to go on a cruise, if you were to go on a vacation, they are going to stick to you like glue because you are their person. I live in the South, and I talk about being a bell cow, and you might not know that term, but a bell cow wears the bell, and the rest of the cows follow the bell and the bell cow. So if the bell cow if it goes to the, up to the food bins there, everybody goes. If they go out into the pasture, everybody goes, okay? So that's like a shadowing situation. 5 is absolutely noticeable by everybody, anybody that talks to the person. They could pull off something in 4. They could talk to you on the telephone in 4 and you wouldn't pick it up. They can be social enough, especially if they've always been social. They can be social enough that they can socialize at church, at the country club, anywhere you go, in a family reunion, class reunions. We have a lot of questions about class reunions, especially over there in the group. Just can my person go here? Can my person go there? In 4 and 5, 4, definitely they can. They're not going to know maybe faces, or they might know faces and not know names. That's the thing. If everybody at the class reunion is wearing a name tag, which, honey, by the time you're in your 30, 40, 50 class reunion, you don't look like you did in high school. Can I get an amen? And so, you have, everybody has a name tag on, right? Well, that can be, in 4, absolutely navigated. Okay. 5, that would not be able to be navigated. They would probably be very distraught, it would just be overwhelmed. It would be too much stimulus. It would be just too much going on. They might have a small family gathering that they would be able to navigate, somebody's birthday or something like that, but not large crowds in 5. 4 and 5, they absolutely should not be driving. And I don't care if they can do a little bit of driving, if they know where the country club is, if they know where the library is, if they know where it is, something that they've driven to their whole life. No driving. No driving in 5. Absolutely no driving in 5. And I will tell you, in 5, they are no longer able to recognize or plan enough. Remember, it's MCCJR. It's memory loss, concentration, critical thinking, judgment, and reasoning. And if I still wrote the book, and I guess in the 3rd, we're in the 2nd edition and the 3rd edition, I'm going to add insight to that. Concentration. They can't get the keys, make it to the car, get the ignition, keys in the ignition. Forbid if they have now where you push the button, to crank the car, it's just gone. Now in 4, they may be able to, they get to the car, maybe, and they know what the keys are, they know what the car is, they know, all of that, and they can maybe get there. But even if they got the keys in the ignition, they would not know where they're going. Absolutely in 5, that's true. So those people should absolutely not be driving. Now, the conversation that you would have in 4 looks very different than the conversation you have in 1, 2, and 3. And these stages go slow. I mean, you can have from the diagnosis of Alzheimer's to the death of Alzheimer's can be 20 years. It's more likely 10 years, but It can be, it just varies with everybody. As fast as they go through the stages tends to be as fast as they go through each stage. So if it takes them from 2 years, from 3 to 4, it would take them 2 years from 4 to 5, 2 years from 5 to 6, 6 to 7. 6 and 7 usually speeds up a little bit, but not a lot. Okay, so in 4 and 5, what you would be doing is you can explain, you can't drive. I am so sorry. I'm going to drive, that kind of thing. I believe in yes, the power of yes. So to get them redirected, I would say, yeah, we'll go somewhere. Not say they can drive, but yeah, we'll go somewhere. We'll go to the deli. We're going to church today. I'll drive. In fact, I would like to drive. I just never get to drive, and I would like to drive. I would suggest substituting car keys at that point. If you can, get some keys made that look like a car key, or, get an old car key, that kind of thing. Put that on their keychain so that they still have their key. So there's a feeling of confidence and control. But there's no way that they could actually get out in their car and get somewhere in the car. So that's a very good technique, especially with men. Men like to have car keys in their pocket. They like to have their wallet, and they like to have the car keys. They can absolutely have a bad set of car keys in their front pocket. They can get them out. They can jingle them around. They can say, hey, I'm running to the store. And you can say, yes, that sounds like a good idea. The door is locked, maybe, when they get there, so they have to fiddle with that. They can't do that, and by the time they defeat the door or understand that they can't defeat the door, they're on to something else. And so, take those kinds of steps. If it's a pickup truck, if it's their pickup truck and they wouldn't normally drive the car, but they're going to get out in that pickup truck, take the pickup truck, either sell it or take it to a child's house, put it at a friend's house so that it's gone. And when they can say, where is my truck? You can say, it's in the shop, babe. It's in the shop, Daddy. We had to get the transmission looked at, and we'll probably have it back in about a week. So yeah, you'll have it back in about a week. Using yes as a counter to no. Nobody likes to hear the word no. Toddlers don't like it. Teenagers don't like it, and the elderly don't like it. Nobody likes to hear the word no. Yes is a positive. Even maybe is a positive. You tell your kids, maybe you can get a toy at the store. Maybe, you can borrow the car to a teenager. And that's kind of a yes. It's not a no. So use that to redirect the person. In 6 and 7, there's no driving. There's no concept of driving. They just don't think about it. It's just not there. 6 is really where they're declining. They sleep a lot in 6. There's no thought of driving. So 6 is a lot easier. 7 is basically the person is no longer able to walk. They're bedfast. They're even in a fetal position. You can, listen to my videos on 7. 7 is the deepest stage. They pass away in 7. So obviously there's no thoughts of driving. So early, handle it with compassion, with as much understanding as you can give. I don't drive, and most people know that I have a seizure disorder and I'm no longer able to drive. I was diagnosed, it'll be 16 years in the next month, in November. November of 2007, I was told I could no longer drive. It was a 6-month thing. If I didn't have a seizure in 6 months, if the medicine worked, then I could drive after 6 months if I did not have any seizures. Well, I would have an issue where I had a seizure and I would start my 6-month countdown over. But I never got past 17 days. In the last 16 years, I've not gone more than 17 days without a seizure. So I am no longer able to drive. And I mean, it's still hard. It's still hard. And I knew it. I could process it. I can still process it. You know, I'm not going into 4 or 5. So it's hard. It's hard to ask for help. It's hard to ask for a driver. I have mainly had, my husband, my sister, my child, able to drive me around. Friends offer. I don't take them up on their offer very much. It's very hard to ask for help. It's very hard for me to have always been a helper, to always be a caregiver, to then be in the care receiver position. It is hard, people. It's hard, hard, hard. And if if you are just frustrated with the fact that they want to drive, they don't want to wait until you take them to the restaurant, until you take them to the store, I would suggest not driving for a week and having to find somebody to drive you to work, and somebody to pick you up, somebody to take you for the weekly groceries, somebody to take you to TJ Maxx, somebody to take you to church, somebody to take you every single place that you need to go. I still have to wait on somebody to take me anywhere. I cannot drive. I cannot be outside of this house without a person, a caregiver. Because I could have a seizure, and I do have seizures in stores. And I have to have somebody there that says, don't call the ambulance. She'll recover. In 5 minutes, she's going to be back to herself. In 10 minutes, she can walk to the car. That kind of thing. But it is so frustrating for me to be a person in my right mind. Some people would not say I'm in my right mind, but to be in my right mind and not be able to drive. And so if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to give up the car keys for a week, it is eye-opening. So I would suggest that. I absolutely suggest that. Because in the early stages, then you can say, look, that was awful. That was awful to have to wait on somebody. So I know how bad it is, but we have got to shake hands with the truth. And we've got to go ahead and take your car keys while you can surrender your car keys, while you are in control. And once you have that conversation, give it time to percolate. Don't have a family conference and say, okay, car keys. Car keys. Not in 1, 2, 3. Give it time to sink in and let them give up their car keys. If they are going into 4 and you can tell that they're straddling 3 and 4, if they are losing their way, I mean, watch the 3 and then the 4 video, and it's going to show you, it's going to give examples of that. This is already 22 minutes long, and I don't want to, belabor the point. But try to get those keys while they still have control. And then replace the keys when they're deep in 5 or early 5 and going into deep 5. Replace the keys and let that be the conversation. It's hard. It's hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. And it's tricky. It's difficult. It is maddening. Just use an adjective, pick an adjective, and know that is going to be the conversation, not for the whole 2 years of 5 or the whole 1 year, the 6 months, whatever it is of 5. I mean, it is going to be sporadic. Hey, I forgot, I got to go to work. Instead of saying, no, Daddy, you don't work. You've been retired 10 years or, whatever. That's not the way. It is, yes, we do have to go to the store. Let's, as soon as Family Feud is over, as soon as we have lunch and get the dishes cleared, yes, we will go. In the meantime, they have about 7 minutes of conception and memory, 5 minutes maybe, and so they're going to lose the thread. Every behavior has a natural end, and that behavior, even that angry outburst, is going to be gone in 5 minutes, maybe 15 minutes. So don't think, and they might be in a bad mood the rest of the day, but they're not going to be, I'm going, okay? I hope all of this makes sense. If you are not in the group, come over to the group. We are on Facebook. The link for the group is right down below this video. You might see the title of the video and it says more. Click on that more and it opens up the show notes, and there will be clicks to my book, to the group, to everything that you need. So leave a comment. Just leave a thumbs up if this made sense. Leave a comment if you feel so motivated to leave a comment. If there's some concept that you don't get, or you need confirmation, or you want to contradict what I've said, please leave a comment here and let us talk about it. You can come over to the group and we can talk about it. I am in the group every day. So, and then the geniuses in the group who are in the battle lines, in the trenches with this actual, how can I take my keys away from my husband? That is in the group. They've maybe not seen this video. People send them to this video, but they also connect, commiserate, communicate in the group. So come on over there, okay? I cannot tell you how much I love you. I cannot tell you how much, this topic, I have been in the dementia game for 30 years. I started when I was 23 in a nursing home. I am now 53. I know I don't look it. Leave that in the comments. But this has been my life for 30 years. I know you. I see you. I hear you. I love you. I love you so much. I cannot even tell you how much I love caregivers and how much I want to make your lives just a little bit easier, make the burden a little bit lighter. Woo, don't make me cry. But I know this is hard because I live it. I live it as a care receiver. I live it as a caregiver, a professional caregiver, okay? I love y'all. Big kisses. Mwah. I will see you in the next video. Bye.